Hi guys, it's ASBYT and this is the brand new 2020 iPad Pro. And I've been using it on and off for about a week. The new upgrade comes in either a 2nd gen 11-inch or a 4th gen 12.9-inch. But just to clarify, fundamentally, apart from a few small details, they are pretty much the same. This is the 11-inch model, but I will be covering both in this video. So due to the current global situation and parenting in self-isolation, unfortunately this review is a little bit late, but hopefully you still think it's great. So first let's see what happened in the quick unboxing. So traditional Apple style packaging, text and Apple logo on the sides, and a few specs and info on the back. After the wonderfully satisfying wrapping removal, under the hood we have the iPad Pro. Let's put that to one side. The token Apple stickers, bits of info, and the 18 watts fast charger, same as the iPhone 11 Pro, and the Type-C to Type-C charging cable. iPhone 12, let's do the same again please. I've also picked up the Apple Pencil 2nd gen, more info on that later, as will there be on the brand new Magic Keyboard, and that looks like a complete game changer. Now removing the further iPad Pro wrapping, you'll notice two things. One, the square camera arrangement, one of the only ways to really tell the difference between the 2020 and the 2018 models apart aesthetically. And two, this wonderful space grey colouring that actually appears slightly darker than that on the latest MacBook Pros, and actually pretty similar to the Huawei and Honor laptops. But I absolutely love this colour, long may that trend continue. It's also available in silver if you prefer. Now the 12.9-inch model has been incredibly popular, but for me, 11 inches is the sweet spot.
That's what she said. No time, but she did. No time!
It's definitely large enough for viewing media, gaming, etc., whilst maintaining the portability factor and the ease of one-hand use. So what is actually new with the 2020 iPad Pros? Well, the first major addition is the brand new Apple A12Z bionic chip. But that upgrade is actually up for a little bit of a debate right now. On the surface, Apple included a new 64-bit chip in these 2020 refresh models, but many are claiming that actually in fact the A12Z is really just a rebranded A12X from the 2018 devices, but with a activated latent GPU core. In layman's terms, the 2018 models have the same CPU and same GPU cores, but Apple purposely disabled one of the GPU cores in those models. Now this is not necessarily uncommon, but at the very least it's possibly a little bit misleading for consumers. Now does that mean the A12Z or the rebranded A12X is a bad chip? No, quite the contrary. It's actually pretty incredible, obliterating anything I've thrown at it so far, and it's one of the main reasons why the iPad Pro continues to be the pinnacle of the tablet market. And to be fair on Apple, maybe they thought the A14X, the chip that they're apparently working on for a future generation, is just simply too powerful currently for workloads and stresses that we use on tablets right now. With the 120Hz refresh rate and the 240Hz touch sampling on this liquid retina IPS display, you can get absolutely lost in some serious artificial world action, and with its 600 nits brightness, it really is a great display. And if you're one of those people that's desperate to know numbers, here are some of the benchmark results, and if you notice, it appears we have 6GB of RAM on the 11-inch model as we do on the 12.9, which was a grey area for some people. Now along the lines of gaming, we have a brand new feature actually housed up in this camera setup up here. We have a similar standard camera array to the regular iPhone 11 with a 12-megapixel primary snapper and a 10-megapixel ultra wide that actually has a wider 125-degree field of view to the iPhone's 120. But the key addition in the square housing is the lidar scanner. Apple are angling this for use with augmented reality due to its brilliant depth perception capabilities, as it actually measures how long it takes light to bounce back from an object, both indoors and out. So again, if you wanted to future-proof your AR gaming, then this might be the way to go. I don't quite know why a piece of tech so advanced it's actually being used by NASA for its depth perception can't actually enable a portrait mode on that rear camera. But hey, and in all fairness, are you really going to be that guy that stands outside and takes pictures with your iPad Pro? Don't be that guy. Just kidding. Who am I to judge? Now, photo and video editing are also a breeze, tasks that are usually hugely taxing on a system. But again, the 2020 iPad Pro doesn't seem to do anything but bat it away like Kevin Peterson would a cricket ball. I still currently use my MacBook Pro for video editing due to the larger screen, the touchpad, and the physical keyboard with all the shortcuts, etc. But that might just be about to change with the brand new Magic Keyboard with touchpad. When connected via magnets, you can actually float your new iPad Pro and adjust the angle to suit you. The Type-C charging port will also charge your iPad Pro at the same time when connected, which I think is a great touch. It has a full-size keyboard with keys that have a scissor mechanic, with 1mm travel, making it look and presumably feel like a proper laptop. A keyboard us iPad lovers have always wanted, and Apple have really needed to produce if they're finally going to change people's opinions on whether the iPad Pro can be used as a direct replacement for a laptop. Now, of course, this goal cannot be fully realised just with hardware alone, and the addition of the new mouse cursor and trackpad support software in iPadOS allows you to navigate through web pages, social media and Excel spreadsheets with great fluidity, and the Click Anywhere new trackpad will hopefully finally make it feel like a fully fledged laptop. One small problem is that it's not available until May. Not sure why Apple do this. They tend to drop a product and then accessories that kind of make that product brilliant aren't available for another few months. Why they don't just release them at the same time, I'll never know. Very quickly, if you're enjoying this so far, a sub would be amazing. As well as the new keyboard, another big accessory is of course the Apple Pencil, 2nd gen, and its features include amongst others wireless charging with a very simple magnetic snap to the side of the iPad Pro, strong enough to hold even when throwing in a bag. It also has a new double tap feature to change between writing and erasing, which is really handy when you're taking notes. And it registers on screen just like a real pencil would on paper with great sensitivity. It's ideal for note jotting, sketching and for pinpoint accuracy in areas that clumsy fingers just simply wouldn't do. And actually on the whole, quite surprisingly, I've enjoyed using it. One thing I don't like about the Apple Pencil is the fact that from a software point of view, it feels a bit unfinished and a bit clunky. As an example, I find it very odd how you can't swipe up to go home or up and hold for recent apps. You can't even swipe down for notifications or your settings toggles. This means you have to switch between using the pencil and your finger, and that doesn't feel very fluid. Surely this is something that they could improve in a software update. Let's wait and see. Sticking with software, and out of the box on the new iPad Pros, you get iPadOS 13.4. And in case you didn't know, compared to iOS on iPhones, it's actually been developed with more multitasking capabilities, with features like split view and slide over that make using multiple apps at the same time much easier to do. Outside of that, you have the same gestures and animations as on the iPhone, but when in portrait mode, you can actually swipe up and hold for app shortcuts. And also the swipe down on the keyboard function for numbers should, I think, be made available on all smartphones. One small jibe from a software point of view, and this is more angled towards Instagram and the developers at Facebook. Still no optimized Instagram app for the iPad? It's 2020. Really? How high do I want my voice to go now? Just keep going. Now, I mentioned how I like the 11-inch model, but there are some advantages of the 12.9-inch model, of course. Quite simply, with the larger display, not only is there a slightly larger screen-to-body ratio, 85.4% to the 82.9 found on the 11-inch, thus making it look a little bit more futuristic, but you also have much more screen real estate for sharing and showcasing media, documents, and of course drawing and sketching, etc. using the Apple Pencil. So possibly better if you are into graphics or you are using it for work presentation meetings, etc. On the flip side, again, as I mentioned, portability, holding it if you need to stand and present and have notes, etc. like pretty much I'm doing now, the 11-inch is going to be easier to do that with. Now, battery life, according to Apple, is roughly around 10 hours or so, and that's been pretty accurate in my experience over the last 4 to 5 days for browsing the internet, doing emails, documents, etc. If I'm doing anything more strenuous and taxing on the system, like gaming or editing, for example, it has been far less impressive. The quad speaker setup, on the other hand, is very impressive, absolutely brilliant for a tablet, as is the onboard microphone. Wi-Fi 6 support is also there, an added bonus, and it has a similar Face ID system to the iPhone, and this works great either way around, which is really handy if you use it a lot in landscape mode. So the brand new 2020 iPad Pros are a brilliant, tweaked, minor facelift improvement device. If you don't already have one of the 2018 iPad Pros, then it's a massive yes for me, if indeed it is in your budget. But if you do already have a 2018 model, it's a much harder sell, knowing that the performance is actually pretty similar, if not very similar, and knowing that the brand new chips are potentially just around the corner. I can't wait to check out the brand new Magic Keyboard, which is out in May. I will of course be doing a video on that. Make sure you're subscribed to see that. Like and share this video if you found it helpful and think others might. Stay indoors, stay safe, and hopefully we'll get through this. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. Say ASBYT, peace out. Now, the 12.9-inch model seems to be incredibly popular. Oh, just dropped my pencil. You absolutely can, and in self-eyes what? What was that? If you're talking or presenting and you need sort of notes in front of you, this is easier to do. Is that English? Does that work? This is easy. It's easier to hold. One thing I don't like about the Apple Pencil is actually... One thing I don't like about the Apple Pencil is... One thing I don't like about the Apple Pencil is surprisingly... One thing I don't like about the Apple Pencil is the fact that, surprisingly from... Oh, that's not even what the words are! Come on!